Welcome to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
I'm Rebecca Plum, your big sister.
And I'm Shaun Surha, your GBF.
We're not that hot or that young.
But we believe it's a state of mind that helps us build adaptable and profitable businesses.
We rely on the support of our design besties to get through each day.
So let's explore the emotional, practical, and humorous sides of being interior designers.
Welcome to the club.
Hey, Shaun.
What's up, Rebecca?
We have a friend today. Today we have Hema Persad from Sagrada Studio. Welcome, Hema.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Good.
I'm excited to be here.
I know. We met briefly. I think we were introduced to each other probably at Mo's had a trend report that you were one of the panelists on last year. And we're like, oh, we need to get her on the show.
I'm glad. Yeah, that was fun.
Keep it real.
And I like to spill tea, so I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
Yay,
well, you're
our
at the right spot.
Our favorite pastime. And then loosely, you and I, it's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever of like, we have our photographer Charlotte in common together. So I feel like she's like our endless kind of spoke of finding out how designers know each other through like a stylist or a photographer. So maybe we should start by telling hotties, you could tell them a little bit about you and your studio and where you're at. Does that help?
Sure. I'm the founder and principal designer of Sagrada Studio. We're based in Los Angeles. I have not always been an interior designer. Our studio just turned 4 years old. Before that, I was a celebrity stylist here in LA. So I worked with a lot of celebrities, styling them for red carpets, the toxic world of fashion. And I did that for 7 years. That parlayed into interior design because one of my clients in the pandemic got a new apartment and she asked me to decorate it. And then she posted about it and did a vlog. And like, then it snowballed because everybody was like, oh, I didn't know you decorate, do mine. So that's how it started. I actually never really went looking for this career. I wish I didn't even know about it. I knew about it from trading spaces, but I was young.
We were just talking about this last week.
Yeah, like that was my after school show in high school. I would come home and get a snack and like watch everybody do crazy things on trading spaces. So I was like, oh, it's like I knew it was out there, but I never really explored it as a career. So it kind of found me. But before I was a celebrity stylist, I was actually an attorney for 10 years. So that was like very soul sucking. And I came to LA to be a stylist to get away from that. So that was the backwards journey. Actually,
Yeah, you've had a journey for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but so like you've had like 2 toxic industries in a row though?
Yes.
Maybe 3.
Absolutely.
Between the law and like fashion, right? It seems to be industries where it's like okay to mistreat the workforce, or it feels like that's sort of like an expectation
More
when you go
so
in
fashion. In when you're a lawyer, it is honestly very professional. I mean, the job itself is toxic because I was a litigator, so you're always adversarial,
Yeah.
But I loved my colleagues. Like that was, my coworkers. Maybe on the other side, you might get an asshole here and there, but everybody went to law school. They're trying to be professional. There's a lot of professional. Yeah, it's respectful. There's a lot of professional guardrails. Not so much in fashion. Nobody cares. Like it's just a different world. And then I came to interiors, which kind of feels like a blend of both because there is a lot of people want to be professional interior design. I think whether they are or not, that's a different question. But I think the want
You're not lying.
is there.
Right.
The want is there, and there's lots of continuing education. There's podcasts like this. Like fashion is just like survive. Good.
Wild West.
Yeah. No rules.
And you're constantly like pushing. I could see where there'd be some overlap because like in fashion, it's like moving from like a collection or a season or whatever, you have to pop up with something. That trend you have to go. And then design is similar too. Like, well, this project's done, but you're already running multiple other ones. And so it's that on to the next mentality is probably similar.
No, actually that part, because now the projects are like you're with the client for years. So that part to me feels like more like being a lawyer than like when I was a fashion stylist, it was like a client or their PR person would call, say, I have XYZ events. I need a fitting. We need to pick out outfits. You might get some notice if you're lucky, but a lot of times it's like 2 days and you have to like run around the world finding clothes, do a fitting, get all these outfits set, you do the returns and then you move on. I actually miss that a lot. it was like instant gratification, and like they look great. Like, I kind of missed that quick reward. My initial projects were kind of like that because my initial interior design projects were kind of like that because it was like styling and like make it look pretty and move on.
You had
right.
no
But
boundaries
now,
yet, probably.
yeah. And nobody was asking me to renovate anything. That changed quickly. And so now it's like you're with these clients for a long time.
So how did you develop your skills, or what skills did you develop and what did you outsource? Like, how did you kind of transition that pretty quickly?
That's a good question. I had done renovations on our own home before, so it wasn't like I never worked with a contractor or anything before. The first thing I had to outsource was the CAD drawings because there was no way I can't do it, and I was not going back to school for it. My business just moved too fast, and I don't know many designers who sit and do that anyway. Maybe you like it and you do it. That's great. But to me, spending hours in AutoCAD is not really how you're going to make money. So I don't advise anybody really doing that if you're the principal designer.
You're right, though. Like, you're not wrong about it being not a great use of time. Why do I do it? I come from a more graphic design technical standpoint, so it seemed like a obvious transition, like, oh, drawing, like I'm just gonna do that and learn it. But
famous last words.
Yeah, I like
for both of us.
My
probably.
personality tends to like, oh, I'll just roll up my sleeves and do this, but it's not a great use of my time, not a great use of resources. So I am outsourcing it more now, but I think it was smart, actually. I wish I never learned it because I do know a lot of designers who never did, and then you just can't get involved. Like, you're not in the mess of it or staying up late to make revisions.
Sending you the file won't help because you're like, I don't even know what to do with it. Like that. For
was
me,
like Paper Space. What's that? We had one
oh God, yeah. Versus
design
model
assistant who really pretended she knew how to use AutoCAD and kind of didn't know how to use it correctly, right?
Oh no.
And I had no idea. All I knew was that her drawings were taking a really long time compared to some other people that I was working with. And later, she ended up quitting because it just was not a fit. But later, I had a much more experienced draftsperson come in and look at all her files, and they were like, "Did you know she didn't know how to use AutoCAD?"
Girl, this is a mess.
You're like, how did you get through these projects with this person? Or I could see that happening. I wish I didn't know CAD now, because the speed and the work that I can do in CAD is more advanced than most freelancer help that I get. But I also am at the place where I recognize. That's the story
you tell yourself.
I was just gonna say, Rebecca.
In fairness, like that is the story you tell yourself until you realize that you're like, okay, but that 2 hours that I spent while they labored through a drawing because they have less skill and experience with it, I was doing something else, earning more. So like the principle, the principle that you're sharing is totally true. We agree with you. Don't do what we're like. Get away from the programming and that stuff as quick as you can if you want to stay.
Same as we say, like, you shouldn't be hanging your own gallery walls for clients. Like, it's not only like a liability issue, but it's also not a good look. Like, you should look like you're the one directing these people, and you don't have time for that. Like, even if you do.
Well, I'm very happy that you said that, because I do think that, and I learned this from celebrity styling, honestly, is like they don't want to see a mess. They don't want to see you, their creative authority, doing hands-on type of things. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to charge a premium for your service, you got to really deliver white glove, and white glove is not me up on a ladder, which is for sure how I used to do it, right? But there comes a point where
you step away from that.
Your perception and how you present yourself has to look like $1 million bought it. You know what I mean?
I agree, because I don't want to see my litigator collating files.
No.
Like at their hourly
what
rate?
Are you doing? Yeah.
Why are you taking staples out?
Using your brain.
Yes. And even last week, I had a client sort of, point out or say, she was like, I don't really want to see a bill that we were just talking about billing, not, whatever. I don't put these kinds of things on our bills, but she was like, I just don't want to see I'm being charged for like driving around to pick up samples. Like that is not what I'm paying your company for. And I'm like, you're right. That's why I don't do it. I
Like
figure out how to bill it another way.
Yeah.
Oh, I
But
see.
Or we
Just
should,
doesn't-
because we know that driving around is a waste of everybody's time, unfortunately, and we just need to get stuff faster. Like,
yeah. And here's the thing, I'm not saying you shouldn't recoup it, but you should be smart about what your overhead costs is, right? And add that kind of work into your overhead, and your rate should cover things like that, or however you want to do it, right? But you
Yeah.
can't be nickel and diming. It's not nickel and diming, it's valid work, right? But it feels to the clients like they're being nickel and dimed.
Yeah.
That's
Or grouping those
good.
things together, like, hey, like, let's just group these into one thing so it's not that slow trickle
like
of expenses.
sourcing samples. Like if we
Yeah.
sourced samples for your wallpaper, and then how that sausage is made, they don't need to see the play-by-play
They don't
Not at
need
of
the
all.
rest.
where you drove and how long it took. That's a good thing to remember. I think in general, yeah, like showing clients that we want to be perceived as luxury for the most, usually designers do, and worth our value. So yeah, we can't make it look like
It needs to be
chicken shit.
simple. And I think that this is my observation. I consider myself like an outsider to the design industry because like I did not grow up in it. Like I'm new-ish, right?
Right.
Like I did not ask for this life.
You have like a fresh perspective still, because you're like,
I
why are
have
we
a- I
doing
have a-
this? Like,
Yeah, I don't understand some things. For example, I see a lot of designers like on social media, they're always trying to justify their value by showing all this behind the scenes and process and whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, do you really think clients care? They just care about the results. So why are we not like, you should just show, whatever that beautiful, I don't know. I think there's sometimes to me a little bit too much of like what you just said, Rebecca, like how the sausage is made. I think designers try to show that because they feel like it makes them, it's like, here's my value. Look at all the stuff I'm doing. But I think the value for clients is the result, and like things should feel effortless. And sometimes when you show too much behind the scenes, it makes it complicated for them in their mind. They're like, they get overwhelmed. They're like, oh my God, what is all this shit? I can't do this.
like, oh
How
my God,
much-
if it's this hard, why would this is really scary. It's so hard and complicated. Like they start overthinking
It's almost
it.
counterintuitive because you're showing all the stuff you're doing, but to them it looks like that's a lot. I don't. It's too much for me.
I didn't
How-
need all that. Like,
How much
Yeah.
does the clientele, though, do you think impact that? Because I have been like hearing more about qualifying different clients as different tiers. And so like an entry-level client, they want to know that, oh, I paid you $500. I want to know every minute of that $500 that you used. Versus like mid-tier, I think might want to have a little bit more of the like, show me how you're doing it. But like you're coming from a luxury celebrity client where they want it to be seamless. Like the people are running around in the background and we don't see what's happening. We just want to see it done, which I think is like a great tier to be in. And I think you're right. But do you see that like that the different levels of clients might have a different need?
Yes, and I'm very happy you asked this because I'm trying to meet them where they're at. So I just this week actually soft launched in studio consultations, which maybe you saw on my social media, but that came from because I'm also on the expert, right? So I do these online things. So to me, I am now trying to build a 3-tier studio. You can access me at 3 different tiers. The first one is the expert. The second one is the in-studio consult, and the third one is the white glove full service. And this is coming from me trying to, not be exclusive about design, but also to just kind of give people what they need. Everybody doesn't need full service. There are some people who come on the expert and they just want some reassurance. Maybe they want a light fixture, and then they're going to take it and go off and do their thing. That's great. Then I've noticed there's a demographic of clients who are more so like what you're saying, like they want to know where their money's going. They don't necessarily, they want access to all the good stuff, and they
want
want
to be
our aesthetic.
collaborative, I think, too.
They want to,
Yeah.
yes. And they want to, but they ultimately don't want you to they don't need drawings. They don't need documentation. They don't, they just want a beautiful home, and they want your reassurance, your taste, your access to trade things and stuff like that. So that's who we're trying to serve in the studio appointments. And then you got a big construction or like a, full home decorating project, and we need to do all these measurements and ordering and procurement and all these things that really like transform a full home or like a multi-room home. That's full service, because think of all the decisions that need to be made. Think of all the things that need to be ordered, all the, logistics and all of that. So that's the full service client. And what I was trying to do is like avoid trying to convert a expert or in studio client to full service, because it's not a match.
It's a big jump to go from a consult all the way to a full service project. Like that's
I think that's
totally
a pain
apples to
point
orange
that
thing.
a lot of designers experience, and they're getting questioned about their getting shopped on the internet, like they're the clients are trying to find the same items for less. That I think is a sign of the mismatch, because the client they value the price so much, they're not valuing the white glove of it all, the service, I don't have time for this. I think that's where it becomes a problem. So I do think that's really smart.
Yeah, I think it's not that they're a bad client. There's a lot of chatter about bad client and red flag client, right? But I like to think of it more as like, well, this process is not a fit for you. And you have two choices. You can serve them a different way, or you just don't work with them.
We've both been sitting more in that not work with kind of the fit question, like this year, of just shifting our studios to a different clientele and project size because of just these types of fit issues, where I feel like for me, I can say it was definitely getting my mindset shift up into okay, you're like entering year 9. We can't be carrying the year 1 through 5 habits stuff. Like that stuff's just got to get shifted, even though it's already built here. It needs to change to grow. And a lot of it is that initial like separating and sifting through of, okay, well, there still is another need here for people in the in-between, but what's going to be how I do it? And I do think a lot of designers are like hearing what so many other designers are doing constantly, that they can't find clarity on what will work for them. They're just like, oh, I saw what someone else is doing. Like now Hema's doing studio sessions. I'm going to do studio sessions, and that's going to work for us. And then they find out it's actually not the missing
No
gap
one's
that your
asking you
inquiry.
for that.
Yeah, like look at your inquiries first and see, like go through all of your leads, and then you can see what your middle of the road people are actually looking for, and whether you even want to offer that, instead of feeling like I have to have it. Because there are plenty of studios like who are only doing expert and full service and no in between, and they just say, I don't want to offer an in between.
And you don't have to. This is new for me. It's an experiment. Um, and if it ends up being profitable and enjoyable and all these things, then great, we're going to keep doing it. But if it doesn't go well, then we just don't do it.
How are you structuring it?
I'm still working on that. I'm planning to launch that today, but I think I'm going to offer an hour or 90 minutes at, a fixed price, and then be very clear about what they can expect in that, because I can't design a whole house in that time frame. So we do need to weed out the people who are going to try that, right? Like come in with like 6 rooms and be like, design it. That's not for you. So there's going to be some kind of intake questionnaire with the registration booking, just for me to determine whether we're actually going to be able to deliver what they want in this studio session. And then when we confirm, there's similar to the expert, there's going to be like a questionnaire. They've got to fill it out, give me inspiration images. We'll do a little bit of prep in the studio to create like a curated presentation for them. And then they'll come in, we will host them, we will offer coffee, champagne, whatever, we'll go through. And then my hope is that after an hour or 90 minutes, they'll want to order a few things. And I'm still on the fence about the procurement. I will try it. Because I do plan to offer sort of like trade only things, and we all know we get the best markups on fabric and wallpaper anyway. So seems like a missed opportunity to not then have them order the things they like through us.
Yeah. And they can't access it sometimes on their own. So it's also limiting what you can even show them, probably. What about furniture? Will you like sell them a sofa? Okay.
Only custom, because I have like very reliable custom people who can make a sofa and things like that. So I feel comfortable doing that. I probably would not offer tile, probably would not offer lighting or plumbing or anything like that. I think I would keep the order category, at least to start, like very
Things they can
like
ship
narrow.
to. You
wallpaper,
can ship.
fabric, textile is easy.
Yeah.
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 And then they kind
And
of
then
run with
our
it.
custom, if they want a sofa or a chair or whatever, then I would do that too, only because I trust those vendors. But anything beyond that, like tile, we don't get a good, the markup on tile is shit. Like, what's the point? Why would I go through all that, right?
Especially if they're not with you by the time they're actually installing it. You're like, just let you or your contractor do, because you're not even going to be there at that part of the interaction anymore in their
I don't
cycle.
want any
the
problems.
category doesn't make sense to do that for that client.
That's smart. And then you're not really dealing with a receiving warehouse, probably, because your custom upholstery can just deliver direct or however you do that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then, wallpaper, they would get with their installer, tell us how many rolls, whatever. And then I would offer them a discount, because otherwise, why the hell would they not just order it online? If it was like House of Hackney, and then they can just go order. And I would just kind of be like, well, you get preferred pricing through us, because again, the markup on those categories is so high, I can afford to do that.
You can make something out of it that for other businesses might not work, especially if they're not coming in to meet with you. Then it really wouldn't make sense, but you're developing this as like a little bit of a midterm type of relationship length, instead of like the full service we're dating. It's like, we're going to do a little coffee date with each other. I like that idea. And I know if you have the studio space to execute it, that makes the most sense.
I think that's the thing, right? Like, I don't know how, I think some people do, some people don't. We do this space. We were in this sort of building in a smaller unit, and then this, sort of nice street facing one opened up, and I jumped on it. And so now we have this lovely showroom out front, and then this ghetto back room that you see me in the back.
You're wild for that. But also, there's a lot of us who are sitting in like you have that like front face that gets more expensive or comes up available that you really wanted, and you start with whatever you're at.
You just moved into it, right?
1st.
Yeah.
This literally, I walked past the building one day going into my office, and it was empty, and I was like, I called the landlord. I think it was like April 20th, and I was like, hey, can I have it? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. He's like, move out of your unit and move in May 1st. And I was like, oh,
2 weeks.
Sold. Oh my God. Amazing.
You got to trust your gut. This is why people are like, how'd you do all this so fast? And I'm like, you know what? I make decisions fast. I think about things, but I'm not an overthinker at all. That's how I approach design too. Again, I'm just not in my head about a lot of things. I'm not. And I spend the time to like really analyze, but I'm fast. That probably is a lawyer thing now that I think about it. But
practice.
I think, and I go through a lot of info pretty quickly, and then I'm like, are we doing it? Yes, great. Move. Everyone mobilize. And or sometimes the answer is like, nope, that's not it. And then I just move on and I don't look back.
I think that's the decisiveness makes it easy to change later. You can always explore
and
a
you
path
trust
and
yourself.
then reroute.
I think you trust yourself.
I do.
Yeah.
I trust myself
that's
a lot.
Big thing.
Yes.
So it sounds like you are definitely pulling from your different industries. Does it feel, I mean, I'm not saying that it's easy for you, but does this feel like an easier industry? Like, it's kind of taking both of the industries, but without the abuse and lack of respect.
Oh my God, yeah.
But like, you know how to hustle, you know how to bring a network together. Like, it seems like you probably built your Rolodex pretty quickly because you knew you had to, and you were used to doing that in both careers, I would think.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good observation. Does it feel easier?
I mean,
this is a hard job. I'll be really honest.
Yeah.
Being this kind of entrepreneur is very, very hard. You guys, this is why you have this podcast, because it's not easy. And this is high stakes, right? These are just clients' homes and businesses and all their money. And there's a lot of emotion involved, So I think it's high stakes. I don't think it's easy.
Is it more gratifying though?
Feels
I guess
easy.
maybe that's what I
Much
mean.
more fulfilling. And to me,
Yeah.
the work feels effortless in a way because I like it a lot.
Mhm.
And I'm, able to make money doing it, like, good money. It can be very lucrative if you're a smart business person. So overall, it feels like a really good fit for me for now. I might
So-
change.
The next pivot.
Just for funsies, in your obviously no one's holding you to this. What are some other phases of your life or seasons of your life that you imagine having? Like one of mine, I imagine living in overseas, like in Southeast Asia, or traveling more often and like anchoring out of a country for a while, just having a season of my life like that. Do you have careers or things or places like that you think of from time to time?
I think I explore things in my mind a lot, but I have 3 kids. 2 are teenagers. 1 is a 6-year-old. Like I'm in this season now. We like
You're in
for
it.
the next
I just can't
decade.
wait to wake up and not have to talk to people when I'm in that season of my life where I don't have to get them out the door and take care of them. And like,
We're in it, my husband and I right now, and we are for the next decade for sure.
Yeah, you have a
So
span.
we do, and I'm really happy here. I envision a season where I have like the problem that I've encountered that I'm trying to fix too is that in the beginning of this career, I took a lot of projects out of state and all over the place, right? And because it feels like that's so glam and that's cool and that's what you do. You're a designer. Oh my God, this person in wherever wants to work with me. Okay, great. I'm trying to really not do that as much. I think I like working in California. I like working in Florida. Most other places, I don't really see the point anymore.
Why Florida?
Well, that's where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
I'm
makes
from
sense.
Toronto. I have a large network there. That's where I was a lawyer.
okay.
And my parents live there. My in-laws live there. Like that's just sort of a home base. And I like the architecture. It's really great working there. There's a lot of tradespeople. There's a lot of, it's like California in a sense where there's just a lot happening.
But less
We've
laws.
got, yeah, right. And we've got
Less regulation.
much less,
The
in a lot of ways.
The ease of construction in some other states is so crazy to me of how it's just like, oh no, if you're just like remodeling your house that's already here, you just start. Like it's
I
wild
did a
how in some
project.
municipalities they're like, no, we just start, hire the contractor, and we just go. Like
I did a project in Texas. I'm like, what's the clearance around the toilet need to be here? She's like, oh, we don't have
you just
that.
do what
like,
you
there's
want. Like
nothing like
That's
that.
how it is in the
There's no
Bahamas. We have
point.
one in the Bahamas too that they're just like, what is PPE? I don't know. Nobody's wearing hard hats. It doesn't matter. It's
They
fine.
just go. They just start. And but it does add some ease to it, right?
Much. And I'm all about, like, why am I doing this if I'm not making money and making beautiful homes, right? And so in Florida right now, we've got 2 very beautiful waterfront homes that we're great vacation homes that we're working on. Like you kind of got to go where the business is. That's why I moved to California. I wasn't going to be a stylist in Florida. That's not a thing. So
You're not lying
Maybe
again.
not what you would want it to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be, but nothing like Home Shopping Network or something. I think you have to, like, for example, we're wrapping up a project in Woodstock, Vermont, which is it's going to be beautiful. It's done. It's gorgeous.
Amazing.
Getting tradespeople and contractors and whatever. Oh my God, what a nightmare! There's like one tile guy, and he was like 10 grand for a primary bathroom. You know what I mean? It's just not.
I've actually heard this about those areas from a few other designers that have said like it's kind of like a locked-in monopoly of not monopoly maybe, but like of the tradespeople. It's the ones you really want. They've already locked in that community decades ago. Like they're the only one you want. They're the better one. They've been there forever. They know all the stuff, but you're kind of
and they're booked. And then your project is slow. And then you got to deal with the weather. And like you need a permit to drive up on icy roads sometimes, like weird stuff like that, So having done that, I love the project and we're really happy with it. But would I want to kind of do that again? I don't know why I would unless the money was really, really great,
You lose efficiency probably. And
so you're thinking you're taking fewer out-of-state projects in the future, or because of the phase that you're in your business, or how did that kind of loop around?
Yeah, I think I will focus my marketing and my efforts on the places where I want to work and, kind of think twice. We've got one in Austin too. We're finishing up next week. We're doing the install and Austin's not great for tradespeople either. Sorry to anybody who in Austin, but it just doesn't compare to what I experience here in LA or in Florida. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It doesn't compare.
I think I'm in Northern California in Sacramento, and I think you guys do have a lot more resources with tradespeople. Shaun's always trying to say oh, it's so expensive here. And yeah, the housing itself is expensive, but no, your tradespeople are way more affordable in across everything. And there's more of
there's a
them,
lot
yeah.
more. Yeah, I think I think the shock of it is that also there was a time even a year ago, every year for the last 6 years, it has continued to get even crazier on that because we are still experiencing the crunch of tradespeople. There are fewer, we have attrition. If the jobs slow down, they move where the jobs are. So we've had that. And then there's also a bunch of unskilled labor force that has joined, and it's confusing to get through them. So you do have jobs where contractors are I got to find different guys because how I used to do it is they're constantly shuffling through people.
That's in anywhere though.
I feel like my job now is just to lean on the contractor. That's their job, is to pick the right trades. And I will occasionally refer in someone who I know, oh, this countertop fabricator is the one I trust. This is stone that I don't want someone else messing with. Whatever your guy was going to charge, can we just look at whether this is better? Prevent a problem if I can, but otherwise lean on them to hold the weight.
100%. I think it's important when you have those, the wallpaper, the stone, those kinds of things where the install might be a little bit more design specific. But otherwise, it's not your responsibility. What is this guy making 20% O&P for? For you to find all the tradespeople? No.
You're bringing in every great person. It's no, let them wiggle a little bit. Let them realize that, this is what they're making that money for. So I want to see them do the performance and the song and dance the way that we do.
100%. That's what you're getting paid. That is a general contractor's one job.
Yes. Is to manage subs.
Manage and find the best subs and be responsible for their quality of work. That's in my contract. It says I am not responsible for any tradesperson's quality of work. I am just not.
It's I'm picking the tile and giving you a rendering, and then somehow I'm supposed to make sure.
Yeah.
I can
know
either
how to
tell
install
you
it.
No.
I think it's
that's a no.
A lot of the we've been talking about that idea of being not helpless, but being the people who need help more, as going, instead of us being the one who has to solve the problem for the contractor, it's the one who's well, you have to help the client. We need your help here to help the client. You're not helping me here. You're helping to make sure that they're happy at the end of this. And it's not my job to fix that, but it is my job to point out, if I'm the concierge, I need to tell housekeeping, if this is a hotel analogy of I need to tell housekeeping what the problem is, and then let them go try to handle it before I come back and try to manage it again. I need to move out of that space.
Yes, you are the client in this entire process. Us, the designer, we're the client's advocate, unless they have some kind of owner's rep or something like that, right? But we should be working in tandem with the owner's rep. But I think as the designer who created the design and is supposed to make sure that this design gets delivered according to the expectation of the client, our only obligation is to that design and to that client. That's not the case with the contractor. They don't, they're just trying to get paid to do a job, and they may care about the design and stuff like that, but their role is not the same as ours. So I always tell our clients too, I'm your guy, your girl. I'm your girl. The only one in this process who is really, I'm literally just here for you. That's it.
And you may try to handle things behind the scenes, back to your earlier point of this should look a little bit, hopefully invisible work for the client. Ideally, we're all having a great relationship behind the scenes, and we can handle things with the contractor. The client doesn't necessarily always need to know. But yeah, unless it's contentious, and
I think the
you
less they know,
can
the
throw 'em under the
better.
bus.
If they've hired you for a white glove full service experience, you got to give it to them. And to me, that means the less stress and mess for them. Like they don't want to know every little play by play, and if they do, they're just not I don't know. They're not my right client for a full
Yeah.
service experience.
Don't you kind of want them to know though, like at the end, like just FYI, these are all the things you didn't
Like,
find out about it till it was
here's the
done.
400 problems you never had to hear about, and that's what you
This
actually
is
paid me
why
for.
I'm
Like-
expensive.
No, not if they're happy. If they're
Yeah.
unhappy and they're just like, even still, we have a client who's like blaming us for some late plumbing. He just wants to blame somebody, right? Like he just is upset that his plumbing is very delayed, and he's
Yeah.
right. It fucking
It
sucks.
is.
And that's what I said. I'm like, I'm really sorry. He's like, I just don't understand because I paid on time, and like, what are you guys doing? And I said, you know what? I don't manufacture plumbing. We're doing everything we can. And I'm really sorry. And it sucks. And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not
And-
like, what about all the 50 other things I did for you? That's kind of
I
not
know.
gonna,
I know.
Yeah.
you know,
It's more,
help.
it's learning how to interact with people in a way where you can be empathetic to them and the service you're providing is still being provided, even if there's a problem. Like, you're still going to get your plumbing. You did order your plumbing. You're right. Delays do suck. They do happen. I can either put you on the phone
Have
with
you
my
seen
rep
the
who
news?
can, yeah, like if you are looking for reassurance, I can put you on the phone with my rep and they can tell you the situation so you know I'm being above ground with you, or we just need to trudge through this and move on. And like, how much, this is like therapized us talking to our clients. Do you really want me to sit here and be in the problem and like wallow in it with you? Or do you want me to just, I hear you, I see you, I acknowledge it. Yes, that's most people.
Of the time, I think they just want you to be like, they want to feel acknowledged and they just want to get it out and then know that you're taking their problem seriously. I don't think it's from a place of like not believing you unless you've already eroded trust with them in other ways, in which case like that's your fault, but I think they just want to most of the time just be heard and be reassured that you're doing everything you can. They know you like deep down this guy, like our client, like he knows I don't have anything to do with the plumbing company.
They're like,
You just
nothing
need it
malicious
somewhere.
happened here.
No, like
You didn't
what-
order
what
it
malicious-
yesterday.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I just think he wanted everyone to know he was very mad. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Get it
same.
out, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Let it out. And then, okay, what can you do about it? Okay, there's nothing. Then let's settle in and I need to find peace with that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
We could rip out all the
Mhm.
tile, put in a new valve, and reselect. There's
Yep.
an option.
and also there
Which-
could be a delay on the reselect. So,
Yep.
like,
We explained all that with like the, long story short, you can't
Sure.
substitute the
Yeah.
valve covers on a different rough-in or whatever. You explain it a little bit, right? But like
Right.
ultimately they don't care.
no,
So-
Yeah.
because you're like they're not really, like you're saying, the truth is he's looking for just to be heard and for someone to know that, yes, this is a frustrating situation and we see you and it happens and we do our best. And sometimes our best means we have a delay. Like, it's better than all the other options. And I think the less we feed into like because we do hear this from designers, Rebecca, you and I hear this a lot about this like people pleaser behavior that it never serves anybody. It never serves anybody. It doesn't help you. It doesn't make them and the client, whoever you're trying to please. The people pleasing behaviors are not actually what they're looking for. That's like, if you do it and that's your tendency, that's your own thing, but it usually doesn't match up with what the person in front of you is really wanting.
Well, if you do it, they just want you to do it and never hear about it. That's back to the just like handle things behind the scenes. Like if there was an option for getting the plumbing faster, you would have already handled that before you brought that to the client to get mad at you about. Like, of course, we don't want to get yelled at. We know what our options are. And we're at some
like, you think I
point.
sit here on the phone if I could pay $250 for a rush and it would work? Like, I would do it.
Which we did. By the way, we did do that. We were like, how much will it cost us to expedite these fixtures? Just fucking put it to the top of the line. You know what I mean? We've done all that, right? I think that people pleasing is not good in business or in life. I've never been a people pleaser, and you should. I just think that in any relationship, whether it's professional or personal, like people pleasing serves no one. No one. I've been married 20 years now. Like I'm telling you, people pleasing serves no one.
Yeah,
It's fresh
including
'cause I got
yourself.
divorced
Yeah.
last year, and I 100% agree. Like, it never works out to anyone's advantage to just try to make them happy because, this is maybe my own hot take. I don't think I think most people do not actually understand what will make them happy. So,
When they're upset.
when they're upset, they don't really understand, most people don't have that
They're
level of
just upset. Yeah.
presence or groundedness to say, I'm upset because I got, aggravated by this delay and I just need time to let it pass. And so I don't need to mention it. I don't need to say anything. So a lot of people speak before really understanding, or it starts outwardly presenting before they even know, well, what's going to make me feel better and repaired and good after this? Instead, they just start landing it in other people's spheres as though it's like, help, someone do something. And then oftentimes there's not anything for others to do that is going to help fix
Yeah,
that.
beating somebody up is not going to make anybody feel better. But yeah, I mean, he could have been having a different bad day at work, and he's bringing that upset more. It's more elevated.
Don't you guys think that though? Like a lot of our clients' reactions have to do with things or people in general, right? Like things in their own lives, not necessarily what the issue is in front of them.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the plumbing delay. There's probably something else going on. Like maybe he's, feeling
Or if
delays.
you even look at the big picture, you're like, wow, we're at the end of this renovation. You're moving in. You can't use your primary shower. You've spent $500,000.
Yeah.
This is annoying.
It feels
This
like
is
bullshit. Like,
yeah,
it does.
this is bullshit, and he's right. And,
And sometimes
he's
bullshit
right.
exists and there's no way around it. Like,
Yep.
unfortunately, we do still live in that. We live in a world where, you would think spending that kind of money would prevent those types of problems, but that's just not true in design and construction
No,
No,
and
and
all
that's
of
the
that.
hard part
industry.
about it. You asked me if it was easy, right? I think this is the hard part compared to being a lawyer and being a stylist,
Mhm.
is our job requires so many third parties outside of our control to
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
I did not have that when I was an attorney, and I had it a little bit in styling, but only as it relates to like shipping people. Like if I had to get a dress from Paris, then and UPS, lost it or something, but that's not so often, right? Like
Yeah.
your job in those two service industries is like it's I don't own all these companies that we work with. I only own my own company,
I
but
don't
like I have to
own the
rely on them.
shipping industry and the
Yeah. And the
gas prices.
contractor and the like I don't own any of the products that we specify, like
Right.
I don't have that control, and there's so many more moving parts. That is the hard part.
You're right. My worst times of my business have been other people failing the project in one way or another. And then this is what I go to therapy about, but like I tend to absorb that. Like, oh, I shouldn't have recommended them. I should have somehow known that they were going to go on 14 vacations and not show up. There's so many things you couldn't possibly predict or even think to ask. All you can do is deal with the problem as it is, and then they're off my referral list, and that's all you can do. But it sucks real bad.
It does suck because I think a lot of people, like, I just have this pet peeve where I'm like, why? How come no one just does what they said they're going to do? Like, so many people, it's a people pleasing thing. Actually, that's the title of this.
Like they
podcast
say
episode.
yes.
Yeah, it's like, stop fucking telling me yes if you're just not going to do it. Like, just do what you said you were going to do. I wish more people would do that. Instead,
Or just
they
tell
say
me you're not going to do it. Like, tell me like the worst news if you already know. Like,
Or
this is going to
like,
be delayed.
hey guys, like I'm awful at this. It's like being able to say we're never going to meet this timeline. I'm going to have to disappoint
tell
you.
yes,
I can't.
but let me be realistic. And
Yeah.
no, I have 3 jobs ahead of you that I've already promised.
Yeah.
Like, we're just tell me earlier, and
I'm
the
totally
client will
guilty
be
of that.
better.
Even with red lines, sometimes I'm like optimistic about how fast I can get through stuff. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I go back and I'm like, hey, now that the newer version of me is appreciating the past version a little bit more, because now I'm able to say through more of it, hey, I dug in on this list. This is actually going to take longer than I thought. Like, I need a new date. And that's like, for me, that's healing to be able to say, hey, when you just speak up and tell people what you need and you give them, like, don't just say, here's a problem, I'm not going to get them through by your deadline. It's saying, hey, dug in a little bit deeper, few more complications. Here's my new projected timeline. It's that expert angle again of saying, my job is to be the concierge and say, hey, realistically, to do this the way you want, I need another week and a half. And then you can have ... by that time. Does that work? And so now you're negotiating it instead of just letting it come at you. You're redirecting the work level. And that's like the better power dynamic
And
to
I
work
think when
with.
people know what to expect and the earlier the better, then they are calmer about it. I think it's when you drop the ball at the last minute and they had their expectations weren't managed properly, then that's when they usually
Well,
fly
that's
off
the thing,
the
right? You have to look at, I mean, if you're just saying yes to everything and you didn't really look at the situation accurately, that's on you. But for example, I have a project where when we initially signed on, we were only doing the interior finishes for, a 6,000 square foot home. And then as it progressed, there's this sort of like covered outdoor area that's like another 2,000 square feet that they were just like, okay, all of a sudden the conversation between us and the architect and whatever was like, okay, so Hema, when are you going to have these finishes and whatever? And I was like, okay, yeah, would love to do that. Obviously, it makes sense for me to do that because we've done all the other stuff for the whole house. And then I look at it and I'm like, this is like a whole other house.
Yeah, like wait a fucking minute. Like
a whole other
Yeah.
big
So
ass
then I
house.
went back to the clients who are very awesome and I was like, hey guys, I was just kind of digging into this and like if this was the original sort of thing and now we've increased the scope. And this is how much more money it's going to cost. And they were like, okay, thanks for flagging that. Understood. Here's more money, but
Yeah.
imagine if I had done that and then started the work and then later been like, by the way, here's a bill,
Oh my God.
just trying to make you happy. That's what you asked for. That could have been a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's like, well,
You're on
we do want to
defense
be
mode
happy,
now.
but we also didn't want to be happy at the exchange of another whatever amount of design fees. Like we didn't know,
Because then they feel
or we wish
tricked,
we had
even though
known.
that
They
wasn't
feel
your
tricked.
intention. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's important to like nip it in the bud up front and just be like, I caught this.
Yeah.
And don't try to like bamboozle them into having to pay you later when you already started the work. It's like,
Before
hey,
I go too far.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think they understood and they appreciated it. Like nobody, good people, they don't want you to work for free, right? Like they don't
Right.
expect that. So you have to, but they also, like Shaun just said, like they want their expectations managed. You have to let them know.
And I think being taken advantage of is like a sensitivity to a lot of high net worth clients. They don't want to seem like they're just getting fleeced because they have money. Just because they have it doesn't mean that they're going to waste it or they're not smart with it. So I think I've had clients that are like, they've actually said that, like, we don't want to be taken advantage of because we could afford this. Like, we want this to be done correctly, which they're absolutely right. And having them said that made me think it through a different lens. Like, oh, they're on the lookout for being taken advantage of as well.
They are because it
More so.
happens,
Yeah.
and it's true. I've seen quotes for work, like we just kind of quote to change a light fixture for $1,800, and
Wait,
we were
just changing one?
just
Like an existing junction?
existing, not moving anything, just swap it out. And all of us were like, bro, what are you talking about? So we got a second estimate for $500. And like we caught it, the clients caught it, like we were all like, what are you doing? Like what are you talking about?
They walked into that house and saw the inside and thought they can afford this. And there's a difference between like, okay, yeah, I can afford this, but what am I getting if you're going to charge me this much more? Like for sure you're putting down blankets and paper and you're going to make sure the walls get wiped down when you leave? Or you're just going to do like every other electrician?
And
And
also so like they're not getting some sort of sexual favor for it. Like it's there's
I
nothing
also
extra
was
they
like,
can do.
so not like that extra, but
No, I mean, but what else could they possibly do?
well,
To
what else
change
is
how the
getting
life
thrown in
There's
at
not
this
like
price point? Like, what are you
another
doing?
and
luxury
we
level.
did ask him before we sent the quote to the clients. We were like, so this is like high. You're in Texas. This is in Texas. We were like, this is like higher than California prices. What are you doing? I literally said that. And he was like, politely, he was just like, that's just what it's going to cost. And I was like, okay, but you're doing other work on the house.
Oh, you're
You're
already here?
going there. Yeah. You're
Oh,
already going there.
that gives me the bullshit factor quote where they're just like, no, we don't
Yeah.
actually want to do this. So we don't want to. Like,
But also I'm like, who wouldn't want to do that? It's just like, just do it.
So
It's changing
easy.
life picture. I could fly my husband there to do it and fly him home for cheaper than what you are
Literally.
asking, you know?
yeah, like a local handyman would do it for a fraction of that. No problem. There's probably a neighbor's husband around who would.
But they're a dum-dum because now, honestly, all of us are like, God, is the rest of your bid ridiculous? Like what? You just lost trust.
Yeah, it would make me question, do I need to look back at everything else now? Like how much of it was inflated or wasn't right because we weren't looking, or maybe he just wanted to get out of there. I don't know.
I think that's what it is, though. It's like every small thing might seem small to you, right? Like I think about this a lot. Like I make a big deal with my team when there's any kind of client-facing friction, right? Like I don't care what it is. I don't care if if a client texts me and it's like, hey, your, project manager left some of their bag of food on the doorstep, maybe, things like that, right? Or like garbage or little things, right? I'm all over my team about it because I'm like, you don't understand those little transgressions. They're not a big deal. They're really not. But compounded, they erode trust.
Yeah, because it starts to look like, oh, is this a respect thing, or was this team were they the professional choice for this job? Like
They
all
start
those little
like the
things.
questioning box opens, like you did with the electrician. Like now they're paying attention to any other little thing that feels disrespectful or not what they're paying for.
That's
Mhm.
right. And so I take it all very serious. I'm like, what'd you wear to the job site?
Yeah.
Like I swear to God, every little thing. I'm like, how did you go out there and represent my company today?
Yeah.
That's what I look at.
What does your team look like? Not physically what they wear.
Yeah.
Well, there's me.
Tell us about the leggings.
Hair.
Yeah.
So it's me. I'm the obviously CEO, principal designer. My husband is our procurement manager. We have a project designer. She worked with me on all the, drawing samples, design, conceptualization, all of that. And then we have a project manager who is responsible for every single job site and what goes on the job site. So basically, I've split it up into 3 departments and I oversee each person in this department, and they all have things that they own that they're responsible for. They support each other as needed because obviously it's a, group effort, but the responsibility for specific things rests with each of those people.
How's it working? Do you like it? Are you
It's great. It's what I've always wanted. And it also is tied to our process, which is what was kind of missing before. There was like a little too much overlap, like project managers doing some design things, procurement's doing some project management things. Like it was just getting a little bit too blurred edges. But our process works like that. We have a design phase, we have a procurement phase, and we have project execution. And I need one person to report to me on each of those things. And that's also how we charge, because the design phase is a flat rate, procurement is a percentage, project execution is hourly. And so I was also having trouble kind of understanding, like, well, am I charging enough in the design phase? I don't know, because the project manager is over here and then the designer's over here. And like, I couldn't understand if I was being profitable. Like, is our procurement percentage enough? I don't know, because sometimes the project manager calls and, it was just too blurry between the different
And you're giving
people.
the client a handoff of each person as their next lead?
The only handoff they're getting is the project manager. That's it.
I guess they wouldn't
our
talk to
project
procurement.
designer. No, my husband, who does our procurement, he does not speak to clients at all.
Yeah.
That's
So
fantastic.
he speaks to all the vendors,
And updates the project manager.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, how fantastic.
So far, so good. It's taken me a while to get here. You guys asked this question in your lap. Like yesterday, I presented this structure and responsibility to
you're
the
so
team on a
confident with your
PDF.
delivery.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like
well,
it's
You've been
new.
doing it for years.
Yeah.
Well, it was what I always wanted, and it's what I was trying to implement. But I
Yeah.
realized this is what I've learned about, people is they can't read your mind. And in my mind, I was
Yeah.
like, I keep saying these things, but it's not happening. So what I had to do was create myself and my favorite assistant, ChatGPT, had to create a document showing the ownership of each department and who's responsible for what and
Yeah.
what you need to deal with yourselves and what you escalate to me, So I only really wrote it down for them yesterday. And they were so happy to receive it because now everybody's like, oh, thank God, that's not my responsibility. Or, oh, okay, got it. That is my responsibility.
And having ownership gives them pride ultimately. Like, I think people want that.
Yeah. And what was happening too is like emails would come in from like a vendor or a client or whatever, and no one knew who was supposed to answer it. So then things were kind of getting dropped and slipping through the cracks, and people were sort of like, well, I thought you were going to answer that, or so it's not fair to them if I don't do these things and then I have an expectation of performance because like people don't know, your
It's not
employees don't
clear.
know, like you have to be really, really clear.
There's a lot of that I guess like man, that's one of the most challenging components of our job is all of the communication. It's so much about in our drawings is communication and expectation setting and keeping updates. And it really, like you've talked about some key things in this whole conversation, like here's how trust starts getting eroded and how that impacts it. And I do think that this shows how you're still actively like an experimenter, which we both are too, and we love that. But you're really quickly like, nope, need to change course. Like 4 years in, just like, nope, that doesn't work. We're changing it. You're in. If you're already on the ship, this is how it's changing. If you don't like it, like we got to figure this out though. Like this is the new way we're trying it, and we're gonna beta test it together. And like, let's go.
Pretty much once a quarter, I give my employees a speech that if you don't like change, this is the wrong place for you. It's just, and it never will be the right place for you. And that is okay. Like if you are looking for a more traditional design firm where they're not forcing you to use AI to do your job better, and you just want like that very steady sort of like over the years, this is how we do things, and exactly every day what you're going to be doing, not in a sense of like we're not going to change the way we operate. Your job's the same every day, right? But like this isn't the firm for you. I'm not the boss for you at all, because I'm always going to make myself uncomfortable. Unfortunately, my husband also is like, we're doing what now? Okay. Like.
Wait, can I ask you, what's your sign?
I'm a Taurus.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out if there's any like warnings you would have had about that, or if he would have had any warnings knowing that, like.
What, when we first met?
Yeah, like knowing like, oh, I should have realized like we're going to have a lot of like change or a lot of.
I met him when I was a senior in high school. He was a little older. And basically we were dating, and I was like, okay, see ya. I'm going off to college. You can stay with me or not. And
whoa,
like,
yeah.
that was probably the first clue. I was like not making any decisions around him whatsoever.
So, but honestly, like a very practical side of a Taurus, right? Is like, oh, well, this is what I'm doing next. Like,
this is what I'm doing. Well, I have an Aries rising. Maybe this will explain. My rising is Aries and my moon is Leo. And so I just forge ahead.
Yeah, you're just taking charge.
But even that kind of I think of Tauruses can sometimes feel like they'll say like uncompromising, like the bullheadedness. But I also see that as like when you are uncompromising about something you really care about, like, no, this isn't good. We're not having fun doing this. I don't like it. The uncompromising is I'm not going to sit in something uncomfortable that I don't enjoy, I don't like, or isn't helping our clients or my process or my life. Like we're getting out of this. And
I am uncompromising about mediocrity. I will compromise on everything else, but I will not compromise. I tell this to my kids too. I'm like, no one in this house is going to be mediocre. So if I see any of you going to school in your fucking pajamas, like your friends,
oh my God,
it's not happening.
It's not my house.
Yeah.
No, do not leave this house in your plaid pajama pants. It's not
Those
happening.
damn
I don't want to see
pajama
it.
pants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like we're putting a brush through your hair. You need like
100%.
do not
Oh no,
leave.
my daughter spends 2 hours with her hair and then wants to wear the pajamas and the hoodie.
Oh my
It's like,
God.
So
why?
it's a no. They'll hear from me if they do it, but as a result, right? Like I think I don't tolerate it for myself. So I'm certainly not going to tolerate it for my business or for my family. Everybody else, okay,
And you
do you,
communicate
right?
that.
Yeah. I'm really open about it.
And you're like, these are so like, hey, there are days when you can wear your pajamas and hang out. They're at the house days. Like,
Well, I did give my employees a speech about that too. And especially in a post-pandemic world, I was like, hey, I know you think lounge sets are cute and they are, but I don't want to see them. I just don't. I don't want to see them. I said, if you're not sure, wear jeans and a black shirt. That's it.
that's like a safe bet.
That's a safe bet. Be safe. I don't care. You don't need to be a fashionista, but
When an intern showed up to my office in the like black leggings and the they were wearing like a crop top jersey like hoodie texture kind of like jersey knit, and I was like, hey, so
Without a bra. He's not going to
Yeah,
say this, but there was no bra.
there was no bra. It was a thing, and I was like, hey, like an office working day means different things. Like we're working today, you might get a little dirty, but that's like a jeans and a t-shirt only, because I might need to send you to a vendor right now, or now I'm afraid to put you in front of a client today because I can't. Now there's things I can't accomplish because you didn't dress right for the job. And it was like, oh, okay, we're really having to like make sure that people understand, like, you need to wear undergarments when you go into people's homes. Like, you're good. Like this isn't that type of job. Like,
But again, I think there are a lot of people who would hesitate to say that, right? But again, it goes back to people cannot read your mind and people don't operate the way that you do. And so if you don't, I think kindness is telling people the
absolutely.
truth.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be brutal. You could be kind about it, but like you have to tell people the truth.
You have to show them, like, this is what our professional dress looks like, or this is what a normal install outfit looks like or feels like. And they don't, given the amount we can see of things that don't translate, it's no surprise that so many like newcomers to our industry have no idea, because it's very inconsistent. Every firm is different. There's just like you have that. I know there are firms where showing up in leggings and sweatshirt material for an install day is not weird for another firm. And maybe their client is like, this is cool. I see everybody put their hands in and get the work done. Like, there's a time and a place, but I don't want it to be on my presentation day. And yeah. Oh, man. Well, you're dealing with that stuff too, it sounds like. So it's
Not for long, though. She's nipping that shit in the bud.
yeah, you're like, we're not doing this.
I do in all areas. And I just think, again, what did you just say? I forgot what we just said. Intolerance for mediocrity or unyielding.
Uncompromising.
Uncompromising. I will compromise in everything, but I cannot allow like what I perceive as mediocrity to exist around me. So I will move houses. I will move states. I will move across the country to not live a mediocre life.
I think that's a good place to
move offices with 10 days notice. Like, I don't care. Yeah.
Man, Hema, you're just like blowing the lid off of things. One, thank you for like,
yes.
I have a million nuggets of knowledge. I hope the hotties had a notebook out, or they're going to have to listen again for it. Where would you want the hotties to keep up with you and stay up to date?
Oh, well, all the tea goes down in my Instagram stories on my personal account. So Hema Persad on Instagram.
Yes.
The Sagrada Studio Instagram account is if you just care about design and our work, I just post our work on the Sagrada Studio account. But all of this kind of content and like what I really think happens on my personal Instagram. And then our website is sagradastudio.com. And that's also where I'll kind of be launching all the information about the in-studio sessions as soon as I can
get it all on there.
Yeah, get it all on.
It's a whole thing.
I need a whole new website. It's a thing. This morning I'm like, how do you do a booking calendar? Anyway, we'll figure that out. So yeah, that's
Calendly is the easiest one.
Calendly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you.
Acuity has more power or like things you can do customizable, but Calendly, I moved to Calendly. It's a lot. It's just more drag and drop.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where it all. I'm on TikTok only. Like, I just repost things on TikTok, but I am trying to do more on TikTok because those
People are there.
Gen
That's where
Zers
to
are
go.
growing up.
They
Yes.
are.
And they're not going to, in the same way that so many people looked at Instagram to find business, now people are looking there on
no,
TikTok.
they really are.
And they're like,
they really are. And
Mhm.
I
love
actually have
it.
to figure out how to launch this in-studio session thing on TikTok because I think
That's a good
that's kind of
spot.
where the demographic is.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's smart.
You know?
Smart.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm so excited to follow along. Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
so
on with us
much,
today.
Hema.
Thank you guys. This is fun. Stay entertaining the hotties. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
We try.
We do our best. And let's see. So until next time.
Stay hot, designers.
Thanks for listening to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
For more on what we talked about today, check out the show notes.
Your support helps us grow, so share with your design besties.
And subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Our conversations continue on Instagram.
And be sure to download our monthly resources on our website and our Patreon.